Chapter 11, Accidental Love by Gary Soto. Marissa stopped just short of stalking Aaron into the boys' restroom during lunch on Friday. She would have, but for the two boys lurking like vultures at the entrance, their hands stuffed in their front pockets, she waited by the drinking fountain and pressed her hand over her heart. Its engine was steady. She found herself feeling better about her plan. When Aaron came out, hitching up his pants, she said, "Hey, pretty boy, come here." Aaron looked at her as if she were a bug and slowly raised a hand to point at his chest. "That's right. You and your mighty muscles. Bring them over here." She guiltily noted that his chest was so much more endowed than poor Renee's. The boy had game. "Do I know you?" Aaron asked as he sauntered over, running his hands through his hair. Mercer ignored his question. "You know, when you shoot, you got to keep your elbows in and bend those cute knees of yours." She raised her arms into a shooting position and bent her knees. She felt a little stupid as she knew almost nothing about basketball. She remembered one more piece of advice from her father. Plus, can't hold your breath. Got to be natural. Aaron blinked at her and turned away, hitching up his pants again. Why does Priscilla like him? Marissa wondered. And why did Alicia like Roberto? Why do girls fall for such fools? She sidled up to Aaron. "Remember, you can't hold your breath. You did that a couple of times at the game on Wednesday," Marissa informed them. As they turned the corner toward the science rooms, she added in a whisper, I know a girl who likes you." That stopped Aaron. Advice on shooting didn't earn his attention, but the mention of a mysterious girl halted his swagger walk. He turned, licked his thin, pretty lips, and sized up Marissa. His eyes narrowed, and a smile began to form on his face. He stepped close to her and breathed in her ear, "A lot of girls like me." His bright, ironic smile glowed like a lantern, and thanks for the advice, I'll remember it on the court. Conceited. Marissa couldn't believe such a boy. Sure, he was a drop dead gorgeous, strong, and maybe had plenty of smart noodles coiled up in his brain. His parents were doctors, right? But he was stuffed like a sausage with himself. In English, Marissa clacked her pencil between her upper and lower teeth and then bared her teeth to a small compact, her breath fogging the mirror's surface. "What are you smiling about?" Mr. Warren asked. "You're supposed to be doing your assignments." "Who, me?" Marissa asked, her compact clicking closed. "Yes, you, Miss Rodriguez." "I wasn't smiling. I was just checking to see if I had stuff between my teeth." A couple of classmates laughed and Marissa had to smile, but with her mouth closed. Maybe there was gunk stuck between her teeth. When Marissa was leaving at the end of class, Mr. Warren called her back. "You're distracted," he said. "You need to focus." "I know," Marissa agreed. "It's just that I'm in love, and I'm also working on a plan to help my friend who's in love." Mr. Warren didn't want to hear anymore. "Let's not talk about girls and boys. That's what you're up to." He thumped his pencil against a pile of essays as if he were trying to punish him. "You must have been in love when you were our age." Marissa had never spoken so boldly to a teacher. At Washington, she had been a moody shadow ghosting down the hallway, and she would have never raised her hand in class, even if she had to go to the bathroom. That would have been uncool. But at Hamilton, she had begun to see that she could bare her soul. "Yeah, I was in love," Mr. Warren said, patting the globe of his belly with beef enchiladas. He warned her about primping in class and asked about how rehearsals were going for Romeo and Juliet. "Like, real neat," she chimed, then paused, hand over her mouth as if it had issued a foul word. She would have to watch that. Shoot, I might turn into a nerd like Renee, she thought. "You talked to him?" Priscilla said into her cell phone outside the library. "Yeah," Marissa answered. She had just got out of her last class, biology, where she had splayed open an unfortunate frog already dead with a dull knife. She and Renee were going to rendezvous at the auditorium for her rehearsal. "Yeah, we were chopping it up. I corrected his outside shot." She had the tickling urge to describe him as she saw him, conceited, but she was certain that would destroy Priscilla, or, even worse, make Priscilla defend a blockhead basketball player. "Oh, God, I can't believe it," Priscilla screamed. "You talked basketball with him? Oh, wow." As Mercer approached the library, she could see Priscilla stomping her feet in the excitement and bellowing into her cell phone. "You talked to him, but really, oh wow, she really got it bad," Marissa told herself. "She's really in love." She closed her cell phone as Priscilla was asking if he knew who she was. "Aaron, Aaron, Aaron," Marissa teased loudly. Priscilla's face twisted in terror. Shocked, she ran over from the library and pulled on Marissa's arm. She hauled her away as if she were a bad child. "I can't believe you said his name so loudly. What if he heard?" "It would be good if he heard." In fact, Marissa caught sight of a shuffling Aaron, pants hanging low out of the corner of her eye. "Here he is." She shrugged out of Priscilla's grip and hollered, "Hey, Aaron, remember to keep breathing when you shoot." Aaron was with two boys, both players, and he cut loose from them, approached the girls, hitching up his pants. He first sized up Marissa, then Priscilla, before asking Marissa, "What's your name?" Marissa, Marissa answered, "My boyfriend is Renee, and this is Priscilla. She doesn't have a boyfriend." Priscilla turned away and nearly doubled over embarrassed. "Don't play shy," Marissa advised Priscilla. She wanted to impress upon Aaron that he was dealing with two girls who were not afraid to take chances. Aaron's smile was more like a snicker. Isn't she embarrassing? Priscilla's face was red, but Marissa thought her blushing gave her a healthy look. Aaron shrugged. We checked you out on Wednesday, Priscilla remarked. Aaron chewed his gum and then asked, doing what? Priscilla's head tilted downward and then swung up. Playing basketball. You were so good. Aaron's gum chewing slowed to a stop. You think I played good? Marissa had to have her say, you are so full of yourself, mister. Aaron shifted his attention to Marissa, who had clapped her hand over her mouth. Marissa! Priscilla screamed. Aaron smiled. She's right. I take after my dad. Is your dad full of pedos too? Marissa nearly asked. My dad played in high school. Turning to Priscilla, he asked, what's your name again? Hi, Chihuahua. Marissa was disgusted that Mr. Basketball had already forgotten her name. Priscilla, she answered. My dad used to play basketball too. Aaron's eyes widened. He used to play with my little brother Adam, Priscilla giggled. Aaron nodded. Cool. I play tennis, Priscilla continued. I used to be really awful, but I got better. Now I'm just awful. You go, girl, Marissa chirped. Hey, did you hear the joke about the two cats that went to go see a tennis match? Neither had, and neither showed the vaguest interest in hearing it. Marissa staggered back a few steps to give them room as they kept talking. Well, Aaron finally said, I gotta bounce. I'll give you a call. But you don't know her number, Marissa stepped between them like a referee. He got Priscilla's number, then turned and swaggered away to join a clot of boys huddled around a trash can. They were peeling oranges and flicking the peels into it. Girl, I couldn't murder you, Priscilla whined under her breath. But I got you two talking, Marissa insisted. And he has your number. You did good. He's going to like you. She hooked her arm into Priscilla, and the two walked toward the auditorium where she caught sight of Renee and a friend thumb wrestling. Can you believe we girls like boys? They're so dumb. Marissa had to ponder her own instincts. She had met Renee via Roberto, whom she had met through her friend Alicia. But just how she had started liking Renee was a mystery, something like chemistry. Priscilla was nearly skipping at Marissa's side. I can't believe he talked to me. I'm so lucky. How long before you think he'll call? Marissa speculated. The call would come in 3 days. To call any sooner would show that he was hurting for attention. Aaron was too cool to want to give the impression that he was thirsty for excitement, though Marissa was certain that he was salivating over Priscilla. She was cute. While doing her math in bed on Monday night, an activity that produced one wet yawn after another, Marissa got a call from Renee. My mom took my new pants away, he said promptly. Marissa flung her brick-heavy math book across the bed. Say, she what? She says I look like a gangster. Marissa resisted her typical angry response, which would start with one word insults and then would move to include long, fiery sentences. Still, she had to ponder. What kind of mother was she? No wonder Renee was such a nerd. Listen, buddy boy, remember you wear Los Pantalones. You're the dude. Yeah, I remembered. He moaned weakly. I wear the pants, but you pick out the style and color. Marissa chuckled. She was teaching her lover boy. Good. You told your mother that Priscilla and me bought them for you, huh? Marissa asked. Yeah, it kind of came out. Renee was her darling nerdy boyfriend. She had challenged to beat him at thumb wrestling and then let him win when she saw how his sweet face got screwed up with pain. She felt sorry for him again. Hey, Marissa started. Hey is for horses, Renee quipped. He began his honking laugh. Renee, you gotta learn a new way of laughing, she told him. He sounded like a goose, but I've always laughed like this, he offered. Another barrage of honk laughter, followed by a piggy snort. Not it's not time for your silliness, Marissa retorted as she stood up and began pacing her bedroom. You tell your mom that she did bad. Silence. Are you there? Yeah, I'm here, he said. My mom is so mean. You wear the pants. Recorded this? You're the man. El mero mero. Marissa could hear a lumpy swallow in his voice as he confirmed his role. That's right, I'm the man. Marissa then asked if he had done his 50 push-ups. A few days before, she had devised an exercise regimen for both of them. Since meeting Renee, she had lost inches of her waist and hips, which had drawn suspicion from her mother, who was with a mouthful of mashed potatoes that asked, Are you bulimic? Marissa had answered no and described her regimen to get skinnier, at least slim down enough so that she could one day put a dress, something she rarely did. No, but I did do 6 push-ups, Renee admitted. Only 6? Yeah, that's when my mom came into the room and took my pants off the bed and hid them. There was sorrow in his voice, and even more sorrow when he said he wished that he were like Aaron. Priscilla had crowed and crowed about Aaron, the man about campus. Marissa remembered how Renee's shoulders had sagged during rehearsal. He had declared that he was no good at any sport, even the nerd sport, thumb wrestling. This is the end to Chapter 11, Accidental Love.